Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over some very interesting data mined information for the Hazard Zone game mode in Battlefield. Now this information comes from Temporal on Twitter, and I will have their Twitter linked in the description if you want to check this out for yourself. And also keep in mind, this is data mined information, so it doesn't mean this stuff is going to be in the game, and if it is, it can still be heavily changed. So keep that in mind when going over any data mined information. So the first tweet is that Hazard Zone seems to indeed be a mix between Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. The orbital map in Battlefield 2042 has built-in support for this game mode. Other known locations can be verified without additional data. No sign of a Hazard Zone exclusive map available. So essentially, there's a Hazard Zone variation of the orbital map, which most likely is going to be a piece of the orbital map, which would be really massive because you could also play 128 player conquest on this map, but it'll most likely be a chunk of that map that may be in some way changed for the Hazard Zone game mode. And then it does seem to be a mix between Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. Now from some of the other information, it seems to be more leaning towards Hunt Showdown and to be a bit less hardcore than something like Escape from Tarkov, but still having that feel and essence of a more hardcore game mode. Expect to collect intel from data drives and crashed satellites in Hazard Zone. After a briefing screen and insertion via a little bird, it's up to you to search the area. The danger of losing equipment can be countered with a loadout insurance, one of the numerous tactical upgrades. So there is going to be a loss of gear or items in some way in this mode, just like you would find in Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown as well. They both have loss of items, and with Hunt Showdown you also have loss of characters. And since it is Battlefield, I seriously doubt it's going to be as hardcore as either of those, but there still will be losing of equipment, making it a much more hardcore and intense game mode compared to a lot of the other game modes in Battlefield. And there is a loadout insurance tactical upgrade, and we'll go over some more of these upgrades because some of those have been data mined as well, but I can assume this will be pretty similar to the Escape from Tarkov insurance mode, which if you never played Escape from Tarkov, essentially if you die in that game you lose every item, but some of the vendors in Escape from Tarkov will allow you to insure your gear with them before going into a match for a certain amount of currency, and then if other players don't loot your gear and take it out of the match, you will end up getting that gear back in the mail after a certain time period. And like I said, it still is Battlefield, so I would not be expecting for this to be as hardcore or to be able to lose as much stuff or be as set back as you would be in, say, Escape from Tarkov if you go in with a full set and lose at all. It's definitely not going to be that hardcore, but I could definitely see there being still a pretty extensive loot system. And my personal idea with this would be something more like a battle royale type looting system, not in terms of you getting as much loot and going in the matches with nothing, but in terms of you dying and the items you can actually lose and actually bring in to the Hazard Zone itself. So like shielding, your weapons, possibly these tactical upgrades they're talking about, stuff like that, not as in-depth as Escape from Tarkov, but still allowing for that loss of gear and loss of time. Hazard Zone maps seem to feature various points of interest like ammo stations and uplinks. Here you can call for a Ranger, Robot Dog, or a HDT Storm, which is an ATV. There are also links to respawn sequences with states like start, pause, resume, and abort. So I'm not exactly certain what the start, pause, resume, and abort would be, but this is mentioning that there are points of interest that are ammo stations, so you could probably go there and either spend points or just pick up more ammo. There's uplinks, not exactly certain what that would be. I'm assuming that that is where you're actually getting the robot dogs and ATVs like it's talking about. So having stations where you go to call in like a support of a robot dog, or call in different vehicles, or maybe call in different weapon drops or something like that. And then there is going to be respawns for this, which doesn't make sense. Like I said, it's not going to be as hardcore as Escape from Tarkov. So having respawns, adding in a little bit of some battle royale mechanics that make it a little less hardcore makes complete sense. And it seems that the respawn sequence is tied to these start, pause, resume, and abort sequences. I'm not sure what these would be, but I'm thinking that you may be able to choose on respawn something you would like to do. Like maybe you're able to continue the specific mission on a respawn, or maybe you're able to say pause a point in that mission where you could then leave and then come back in and start at a specific spot, or just fully abort. But again, no idea. Those are just some spitballing ideas to what that could possibly be. And then this next part is very exciting as well. You might encounter AI soldiers like patrols using a Jaguar, EBRC, or HDT Storm, so different vehicles, in the hazard zone. According to some data, they can get reinforcements and parachute solo or squads into the map, and AI bosses will probably serve as additional objectives and grant rewards. So just like something like Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown has a lot of AI enemies as well, you'll be able to come across AI patrols, AI bosses, stuff like that will allow you to get additional rewards or additional loot or be specific objectives on the map. And it seems like the AI for Battlefield 2042 is pretty advanced. I know they've been testing these AI since Battlefield 1, and there's going to be a lot of AI integration into this Battlefield, with matches being able to be filled up with AI if you don't have enough players, or you being able to play against full matches of AI, and even being able to change the behavior of those AI in some ways in the portal mode. So these AI are probably going to be somewhat advanced, and it's really exciting that there's also going to be different bosses, which most likely means there's going to be looting of these AI. That's something that I would expect to be in the game for having different patrols out in the world, then having these bosses. So that's also very, very exciting, and something that also makes it more in line with Hunt Showdown or Escape from Tarkov. You can leave the hazard zone by using an extraction zone, landing zones for helicopters, which can be claimed and activated. An extraction can also fail if you miss the helicopter. Hazard zone currency is probably the key to expand your weapon, gadget, and perk collection. So two things that are pretty important. You extract by a helicopter that you call in. Now, I'm wondering if this is going to be something that you can call in these helicopters anywhere, or if it's specific areas. And it sounds like it's going to be more like specific areas, which brings in something akin to the dark zones in Division, where certain areas scattered around the dark zone, it's a call-in location where you call in an extraction. In the Division, it's only for items, but it seems like this would be something pretty similar, where you would go to a specific area, you would claim it, call in this extraction, and then you would have to probably wait a certain amount of time to defend yourself for that certain amount of time. And then once a helicopter gets there, most likely there's going to be a certain amount of time that you have to use the extraction. And if you miss that window, you totally miss the extraction, and you have to go extract somewhere else or recall in another extraction helicopter. And then the second part of this, a hazard zone currency, which they mention expanding your weapons, so most likely buying different weapons and then customizing them with all the different perks. There's going to be a lot of weapon customization in the game, and then customizing your gadgets and perk collection in it. And I would give it a pretty big possibility that those are all things you're able to lose if you die in a match. So you could probably lose a vast majority of your loadout if you die in a match, which is where the more hardcore of this game mode comes in, and where something like insuring your gear comes in as well. And then there's also a list of 12 tactical upgrades for your soldiers in the hazard zone: more ammo or extra respawns, additional storage, or faster healing. Keep in mind that this list is a work in progress, and some things might never see the light of day, and there's most likely going to be additional ones. So this list is spotting duration, starting armor, loadout insurance, satellite info, deploy speed, extra respawn beacon, extra intel storage, throwable ammo, faster healing, ammo increase, bonus AI reward, or bonus intel reward. What I think this is pointing to is that you can probably loot or gather up these tactical upgrades, and then what it seems to be is you would activate one of these tactical upgrades if you wanted to before every match, and most likely this tactical upgrade would be used in the process, and there might be a certain amount of slots you have for these tactical upgrades. So maybe you have 3 slots for tactical upgrades. Maybe you're bringing a big kit in, so you want loadout insurance, so you want an extra respawn beacon, and then maybe bonus AI reward or something like that. That's how I think this system would go, because having these as usable items that get used up when you use one keeps some of that more hardcore, more high stakes gameplay, and also gives you some more options to maybe have a run that you're going to be more safe with. So maybe use, like I said, loadout insurance, extra respawn beacon, and then maybe faster healing. Or you could go with a more dangerous tactical upgrade loadout. Maybe you get the bonus AI and intelligence reward and extra intel storage. So you're going to lose everything if you die, but if you get all these rewards and get out, you're going to be able to come out with a much larger amount of loot than you would be able to before. And a lot of things are pointing to the hazard zone game mode being tied to the Exodus battleship, which, if you haven't seen it, Battlefield released a short film which was based on the Irish character, which is the newest special specialist, and he is in control of this ship. And at the end of that short film, he puts out a call to all expats, which are essentially people that don't have a home nation. So it does make a lot of sense that for the Hazard Zone game mode, the Exodus will be your home base. And a lot of people are speculating that this home base will be similar to your hideout in Tarkov, so you can upgrade different parts of it. It's going to have the different vendors there. It's going to be where you can pick up missions or tasks if they have those, and that's where you gear up and then launch your missions from. And this makes a lot of sense. This seems to tie in with everything we know about Hazard Zone pretty well. So that's most of the data mined information we have for right now. I am very excited about Hazard Zone. Now that I've heard what some of the possibilities of this game mode will be, I'm more excited for this mode than any of the other modes in Battlefield. It's going to be really interesting how they go about a game type like this. I played a lot of Escape from Tarkov, and even though it's pretty much guaranteed that this is not going to be near as hardcore as something like Escape from Tarkov, but I do think that it will have the benefit of the technical side of the game working much better. The sound will probably be much better, and most likely there will be a lot less hackers than in something like Escape from Tarkov. So I think overall I'm very excited about this game mode. So that's pretty much all I want to go over for this video. I'm going to be turning this channel into a more broad FPS channel because there's a lot of other games I want to cover. Battlefield 2042 is looking pretty incredible, and pretty much everything they've released, all the PR that they've done for the game, everything seems to be very well done and is a far cry from how they went about Battlefield 5 and announcing the game and then the game itself. So subscribe if you want to see more Battlefield 2042 or other FPS videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about Hazard Zone, and thanks for watching.